Spoiler warning. The following discussion will contain spoilers. We recommend checking out the movie first, then coming back to hang with us. But if you don't care about that, glad to have you here.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the 25 Days of Real Christmas, a series where we review some old and new holiday favorite films. My name's Kevin.
And I'm John.
And we are the Real Movie Guys. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House. Amidst his parents' impending divorce, Kevin McCallister must foil his old nemesis Marv and his wife Vera's plot to kidnap a crown prince, despite opposition from his dad Peter, Peter's fiancee Natalie, and Natalie's butler, Mr. Prescott. John, I didn't think it was going to be this bad, to be honest with you. Like, I knew what was coming, but I didn't know this was coming. And wow, this is bad. I think right away we have to talk about some of the main issues that really drive home why this movie's so bad. A lot of it has to do, I think, with Home Alone 3, we moved away from the McCallister family, right? And in a way, we could appreciate that. I felt like we were both like, okay, I guess it was time, right? That they did enough with the McCallister family, and they said, all right, well, we're going to try a new family, try something a little different. If nothing else, Home Alone 3 was a little different, regardless of how you feel about it. So what does Home Alone 4 decide to do? Decides to go right back to the McCallister family and make this ridiculous, over-the-top garbage story. Before we really dive into how bad this movie is, there's just a little bit of positivity I was able to get out of it. Not much, mind you. There are two characters, actually, I did really enjoy. The first one, I actually did like Eric Avari, who played Mr. Prescott.
You trifle with me, you demon spawn! That's a foolish place to hide.
One down, two to go.
I actually do think he's pretty funny. Eric Avari, if you don't know what he's from, he's like a lot of bit characters. He was in Mr. Deeds, The Mummy, stuff like that. Kind of always plays like that butler, smart old guy kind of character. And for what it's worth, he was tolerable.
Do you think we'll have a white Christmas?
It's highly unlikely, given the recent unseasonable temperatures.
What's this thing? A mini elevator?
It's called a dumbwaiter.
Why is it called a waiter?
Because it carries food.
Why is it called dumb?
Because it doesn't speak or ask countless idiotic questions.
I didn't hate him necessarily in this movie. He had a couple cute interactions with character Kevin in this movie, and he was fine. Just his overall mannerisms. I mean, it's essentially just him being himself, right? I don't think there was really much to his character, so good for him. Good for him. He was able to show some kind of shining light out of this turd, so not bad. And the other character who I thought was okay, actually, which I don't even know if that'll surprise you. I thought Missy Pyle, who played Vera, who was Marv's wife, I thought she did an okay job, too.
Which plan? Harry's plan?
What? No, not Harry's plan. The one involving rope in a bag.
Why are you yelling at me?
I'm not yet.
I actually didn't really dislike her at all. I thought she was kind of fine as far as like a comedic foil. They could have gave her more to do.
Hey, watch the road there. Safety.
Yeah, she was fine. I thought she was funny. I laughed a few times at her interactions with Marv.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? I'm no bag, and you know what? You ain't no genius.
Vera, honey.
No, don't Vera honey me. You're
Honey.
not even as smart as this kid, who, in case you hadn't noticed, is totally kicking our butts. Well, from now on, I am my own boss.
Vera.
And that's it. That's all I got. So I want you to go into it, John. What did it do for you? Did it do anything for you?
It told me I really should have got my time back after watching this movie. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Let's just go to the main problem with this movie.
All right, go for it.
The whole stupid plot of the
Oh, you didn't like the plot?
them trying to kidnap the prince from the people's house.
We're gonna wait for the royals to arrive. Up, dope, do-de-do. And then we're gonna kidnap the prince. Oh, don't kidnap
with their creepy little butler lady that's like, okay, I'm gonna get my son in here. And then the kid goes there apparently he wants to get out of his real life to go to stay with his father for a little bit. And he gets into all this trouble. Even his father's like new girlfriend slash wife, I feel like she either phones it in or her character is just that terrible.
Well, I think Kevin's going to have so much fun playing with the prince that he's not even going to miss the stuffed animal. It's going to be so wonderful having a house full of children. I'm really looking forward to it. Children, watch the garden sculpture.
Like, it just was done.
Let's just say, you could say that for this whole goddamn movie. I don't think it has anything to do with one character specifically. What this movie did, the ultimate sin it commits, right? It tried to go back to the original storyline, but by doing that, it ultimately trashed the parts that we loved and disgraced everything else that we liked along the way doing it. Like you said, essentially, Peter McCallister and Kate McCallister, the parents of Kevin, are made completely unlikable. Kevin himself is by far one of the most annoying kids on the face of the planet. He has none of the likability of Macaulay Culkin or even the kid from Home Alone 3. He has none of that likability whatsoever. I couldn't wait for him to get off the screen.
First step, eliminate the inside man. Oh, Mr. Prescott! Mr. Prescott, are you in there?
Yes.
He was annoying me so goddamn much. They changed the story. For the parts that they kept, they ended up changing. Kevin originally had 5 siblings. Now he's down to 2.
You always fall for that. Let me up, zit face.
Lame brain, when are you going to learn?
So I guess they just got rid of 3 kids. I mean, they lost Kevin quite a few times, I guess. So why couldn't they lose 3 of their kids permanently? But then you have Marv, who they decided to bring back, and they just write off Harry out of nowhere. Just like, oh, Harry's still in prison, or we're gone from him.
You sure we can pull it off? I mean, without Harry making the plans?
Look where Harry's plans kept landing me, huh? In jail. Well, not this time. Because this time, I'm the boss.
And then they replaced him with Vera, which is okay. I'm not against Vera. But they cast someone, I don't like French Stewart. Anything I've seen him in, I don't like him. And him trying to be this Marv, it's absolutely terrible. He looks more like Harry than he looks like Marv, if you really want to be honest with me. Like, as far as like mannerisms and the way he acts. It's like, what was the thought process behind getting him into this film? I don't understand.
If you're going to go back to another character, you have to do it well and do it
at least respectfully,
almost like
regard.
Marv was.
Yeah. The big problem is, like you said, the plot is one of the hugest issues in this film. It's just, it makes no goddamn sense. The parents are getting divorced out of nowhere, right? It literally, like, okay, I guess they're divorced and they're like low middle class. Why bother with the continuity if you're not even going to attempt to make it, besides using the names? None of these people are similar to their same counterparts. And the whole idea with the divorce and, you know, having to get over that, which kind of plays into the story, not really. And then Marv becoming, instead of being, you know, he's a kidnapper now.
Seriously.
And not, and the fact that they're trying to kidnap the prince. Yeah, trying to kidnap children, right? And they're attempting to kidnap a prince throughout this whole movie. The prince isn't there until the end.
All right. Coast is clear. Let's go.
Wait, are you sure it's safe?
Pumpkin, would I take you in there if it wasn't safe?
It's just if the prince don't arrive till tomorrow, why are we going in there now?
To get the lay of the land. What do you think, Vera? We're just gonna go in there tomorrow and start grabbing kids? Ooh, everybody get in the van. No, we gotta figure out the where, the when, how to get them out of there. You know the secret to criminal success.
Not getting caught.
Planning. Preparation. Preparedness. Be prepared. Be a prepared preparator, huh? That's my motto, and that's why I'm...
a Boy Scout.
No, the boss.
He shows
and
up
he
at
knows
one part.
that. He should know that because they're right outside the whole goddamn time and the prince never came. There's no logic behind that. Like, what is this movie?
Or then they go supposedly to go pick up the prince.
Yeah.
And they got delayed, so they had to go back. I was like, what the heck is going on here? This is like 9 stories in one.
Yeah, it's just...
And they're all bad.
Everyone's a really bad budget version Not if that. And that's even giving them too much credit to say that they're budget versions of those characters, because I don't even recognize them to any extent. They're not like those characters that were, I would consider, maybe some wouldn't, but, timeless characters in a way. They're not those people. They're not the McCallister family. They're not Marv or whatever you're trying to go for here. It just doesn't work. And you have to wonder, in some regard, too, if the fact that this movie was essentially a direct-to-TV release, I think it was direct to the Disney Channel or ABC Family, one of the two. They're essentially the same thing, right? It was a direct-to-TV movie, and you can tell. I mean, I'm not trying to shot on anybody's editing here, but it looks like I'm editing their movie, and, you've seen my editing on this channel. It ain't the great, it's okay, and it's like I did that. Literally, it looks like someone just went in, like, iMovie and edited a movie together. Really interesting part, too, is when the house gets flooded. Kevin floods the house because Marv's trying to get in and whatever. So he floods the house, and if you look, you can see, like, the dams in the background.
Kevin.
So the water didn't flow into the rest of the set. You can literally see it's a set. Literally. Like, even when they go into the house, you see Natalie literally step over it.
They won't be too mad. I mean, once I tell them what happened, maybe they'll be okay with it. Or maybe not.
To get into the house.
Seriously.
What the hell? Come on, guys. I know it's a TV movie, but it's the Home Alone name. Doesn't that mean anything? Again, as bad as Home Alone 3 was, it's not that great, but I would say it's, didn't have to take a dump all over the series because of that. Like, I don't think the name's worthless. They try to be different in their own way, right? They do these different things. Like they have the smart house.
Vacuum on. Vacuum off.
Wow, the place even cleans itself.
Want to see something really cool? Open sesame.
Wow, this place is awesome.
Which is the stupidest thing. It's like super futuristic, but not at the same time. Marv's mom ends up being the insider, quote unquote, that was getting them into this place. That makes no sense. I'm sorry. and she telegraphed that a mile away. If you couldn't figure that out, then there's probably something wrong with you, to be honest. Because she literally says in one scene, like, oh, my son, I look fondly after him.
So it can only mean one thing.
And that is?
Marv and his new friend have an inside guy, Prescott.
I think you're right.
I am?
Yeah, you do have an overactive imagination. But that's what I love about children. My own son was the same as you at your age. A real handful.
You must have been a great mom, Molly.
Well, you just try to keep that imagination under control, okay?
Gee, I wonder who the hell that could be. I know this is trying to be a low-hanging fruit family kid movie.
Harry!
It's so bad. This is one of those movies where I hate even wasting our time talking about it because I don't want to give it attention because it doesn't deserve any in the slightest. It deserves to just be forgotten and just to disappear. And for a movie called Home Alone, I have to say, he's not home alone. There's people in the house the whole time. He's never actually home alone when they're trying to break in. There's just people trying to break into his house. He's not home alone.
He's being watched by the butler.
Yeah. Not even the butler. There's like lots of people. There's like a party going on at one point. He's not home alone, so I'm not sure why you're calling it Home Alone. They could have just called it Taking Back the House or something, and that would have been fine. You know what I mean? Like that would have made more sense than adding the Home Alone name and actually numbering it and adding it to this franchise.
I mean, let's be honest though. It would have never gotten the views if it didn't have the Home Alone name.
And besides having the Home Alone name, it has the characters, but it has nothing else that's from Home Alone. Besides, yes, it takes place on Christmas. So, I mean, if you want to give it, I guess, a prop, since the last one ignored that, it went back to the Christmas roots. So that's something. But the traps aren't even, there's no real traps. Like there is, kind of, but not really. They're not even clever. They're like G versions.
Spin faster, Sesame.
If the wife's not feeling
Faster, Sesame. Maximum speed. Sesame. Stop, Sesame.
traps from Home Alone 1 and 2 and 3 even.
Stuck in the dumbwaiter. Come on.
Like, I know we were going over the top, and I was admitting it. When we got to Home Alone 3, it was like, holy crap, what have you done? I kind of missed that in a weird way. Now we just have these like G, maybe PG, if you're really trying to tread the dangerous waters there. Or I think the worst one, actually, I will say, is in the kitchen. They get hit with like a pot in the face.
Kill him!
That's it. That's the best you got. That was the best
Seriously?
you had. It's tough to find out like what exactly went wrong. Is it just because it was straight to TV? Is that what did it? Is the budget being slashed? Just, it's a shame, really. When you really watch this movie, it makes you sad. It makes you sad. It's, you know, we're a franchise that was as good as Home Alone went, and it makes you really wonder, after Home Alone 2, even 3, they could have just stopped, you know? They really didn't need it. And as much as people complained about Kevin and that McCallister family not being in Home Alone 3, this is maybe a good reason why they shouldn't have been. This movie's the perfect example. There are 2 like quick little facts I was able to try and drive up about this movie, because I'm like, I gotta get some answers to what happened. Daniel Stern was actually asked to be back in this movie, but he rejected it by saying, and I quote, "This movie is an insult and total garbage." That's exactly, that's Daniel Stern is quoted as saying that.
Hey, Daniel Stern, I completely agree with you.
I completely agree. And then also, if you couldn't tell, this was also used as a pilot of sorts, because they were actually trying to develop a Home Alone TV series. So maybe that's where they were trying to go with this. I could actually see that when we were watching this. I could see this being like the Home Alone TV show, but what the hell would that have been about? Just the crazy antics of Kevin McCallister? We can leave him a Home Alone every episode. Home Alone doesn't work as a TV series. I mean, it's Disney, right? So I'm not surprised. They tried to get milk from a rock at this point. It's not that surprising. Watching this movie really hurts. That's the only thing I can really say about it. I think we're at that point, though, we're going to give our final scores. I'm going to give Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House, a well-deserved F.
Shut up, you little moron! I'm gonna kill him.
The movie's terrible. Again, I don't even want to waste that much time with it. I mean, honestly, if we could have, I would have just skipped it, because it's that bad. Those 2 performances I thought were fine. That doesn't justify this movie's existence whatsoever. Nothing works. The franchise could have ended at this point, or if not, at least it proved that the McCallister family angle that they were going for, that continuing story, that's long gone, man. It's over. John, where do you stand with this film?
This movie gets a big fat F.
I don't understand people who watch movies over and over again. I saw it, I cried. Once was enough.
You gotta be kidding.
Flaming hot garbage.
Couldn't agree more.
That they threw out on the screen. You put Home Alone name on this to try to make your money, and you turned it into a laughing stock.
Any little bit of effort could have made this movie better. Just any kind of effort whatsoever. Not the crap that they threw together. There's a lot of things that are just better than this. Some of the Friday the 13th movies we watched were better. They're the worst Friday the 13th movies, or at least somewhat entertaining. This, I couldn't get anything out of it. It was ridiculous. I'm trying to quickly forget it, and it's one of those movies that's hard to find. Right? It is pretty. I know it is available for streaming on HBO Max. If you can, just avoid it. Watch Home Alone 1 and 2. Watch 3. Ignore 4. Don't go out of your way. There's none after 3. Maybe. We'll see what happens when we tackle 5. John, where can the people find us at home?
You can find us over on YouTube. The Real Movie Guys on YouTube. Go over to our channel. Like this if you enjoyed this. Subscribe to our channel. We're almost at 25.
Yeah.
So
that's sweet 25.
Try to get there. 25 days of Christmas. 25
subscribers.
Maybe.
There we go.
You can also find us on Twitter at The Real Movie Guy on Twitter. And you can also listen to us on many podcasting platforms such as...
Yes, for your listening pleasure. We are also available in podcast form at iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcast, Overcast, Breaker, Radio Public, and Pocket Casts. Be sure to give us a listen at any of those fine places. If you already are right now, hey, greatly appreciate it. Just search out Real Movie Guys. We should pop right up. Thank you again all so much for joining us for this episode of The Real Review. My name's Kevin. That guy over there, he's John. We are your Real Movie Guys. Real guys, real movies, real thoughts. And don't forget to tune in all this month as the holiday festivities continue during the 25 days of Real Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. We'll catch you next time.
See ya!